Hello, my name is Matt Williams from governmentbailout.com and FHAsnow.com, and I wanted to hip you to a couple of different points. The key element that a lot of people are running into right now is they're looking at these record low rates and they're seeing, gosh, under 5% on a 30-year fixed, 5 years, interest only, everything has come down substantially. And I'm getting a lot of calls and a lot of emails from past clients that are saying, hey, listen, what can I do to take advantage of this? There's got to be something. I'm at 6.25%, and now things are 4 1/8, somebody told me. Well, they're not actually at 4 1/8, at least not at the time of this recording, but they might turn of the year. It's hard to say. But what we're dealing with right now is that the record low rates aren't going to be able to help everyone. That's just the reality of the circumstance, just because the banks have changed their policies drastically. You don't have nearly as many investors. You heard about all these big companies going out or being bought up by other big banks. Well, that's taking a toll on the market because there's less product availability. So if you don't have good credit, it can be an issue unless you're dealing with FHA financing. If you're dealing with FHA, you have a little bit more flexibility, but even that's been ratcheted down a bit. So you have to be aware of the details involved in your particular situation. So if you're dealing with conventional financing, make sure that you get your credit score up over 700. That's the best way to do it. There's a lot of different ways that you can actually work on old debt or incorrect debt. I would say 7 out of 10 of the credit reports that I see these days have something wrong with them. I found something wrong on my own credit report recently that I had to deal with. So keep in mind, even if you have good credit, you might not have good FICO scores, and it might not be your own fault. So one of the things you can do is you can email me or you can shoot a quick quote over, and I can send you a free pamphlet of information that will give you an idea of how to boost your credit score. The second thing that you want to make sure is equity in properties has gone down. Basically, pretty much across the country. And that happens from time to time. If you look at history, it's like a guy with a yo-yo going up some stairs, right? If you give it enough time, eventually things turn out, but they don't turn out necessarily in the short term. And right now we're dealing with a short-term setback in terms of the national amount of value that we're seeing in homes. So if you don't have any equity or you're over equity, you're not going to qualify for conventional financing. Your best bet is to get a real numbers report and then look at a loan modification. More often than not. Your current investor in that case is going to be willing to work with you, but to take advantage of the current low rates as they stand in conventional financing or even in FHA financing, you have to have some equity in your property. The more the better. Really, you want to be at 90% or less for conventional. These are general. In your specific case, it might be different, and you can contact me or another CMPS authorized mortgage broker or mortgage planner, as the case would be, if you can find one, and make sure that you can find somebody in your area. And you can actually look it up at cmpsinstitute.com. I'm in the Denver area and run loans in Arizona and California. But if you're outside those areas, I refer out to other folks. But keep in mind, you want to make sure that you're dealing with some equity in your property. And if you want an evaluation of that, you can contact me, and one of my staff or myself will get back with you. And we can give you an idea of what kind of value you have, especially if you're in the greater Denver metropolitan area or Colorado in general, but California as well. But beyond that, you want to find someone that's familiar with your area or a reference to someone that's familiar with your area, because there's different laws and different rules and different appraisal guidelines depending on state by state right now. It's not as ubiquitous as it was previously. So with that, I'll wrap it up. If you need to contact me or if you'd like to contact me, I'll throw the information up after the clip. And I hope that you have a wonderful holiday break, and I'll see you turn of the year.